Hey, so in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly why I don't hire people who do it just for money, why I don't work with service providers that just do it for money, why I don't work with clients that just want to do whatever it is they want to do, build a business basically just for money. There's a reason for this. I'm going to share with you why I do this, what is my reason behind it, and also how you can implement it so you can benefit from this as well. It's actually a huge change that I made back in 2014, and the moment I realized that a certain type of person, people who do it just for money, are not really good for anything, is the moment my business results went up. The moment that people that I worked with were more passionate, deliver better results, and just everything in my life started improving. Not solely because of this, obviously, correlation is not causation, but still it was a major factor because a lot of the problems that I had before tended to disappear immediately after I implemented this. So it's going to be valuable for you to figure out and make your own decision based on, let's say, the experience that I have and the data. The reason I want to share with you is because I see people make this mistake all the time, and they think, yeah, of course a business owner does it only for money. Of course, it makes perfect sense. And I'm here to tell you that it's definitely not the case. And most good business owners that I know are definitely not just doing it for cash. Many of them would just do it for free if they could, if they had to. If they were forced to, they would even do some of the stuff they're doing for free. Although business is obviously about making a profit, right? Like no one here is going to come and tell you that people want to work for free or anything like that. But when someone's really immersed in something and they're really into something, money is not the priority. When someone's a good employee, money is not the priority. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. It's like one of the least important things. There are books written about this, but as a business owner, I have experience with that. You don't want to work with people in most positions that are economically driven. It's kind of a thing that's going on right now with people connecting money to power, and they're connecting money to all these magical outcomes. But this is more of a consumer mindset, I found. So consumers tend to idolize money just like they idolize, idols. So famous people and whatever. In reality, they're just people, and money is just money. It's a means to an end, and it's a powerful means to an end. It's a very important thing in your life that you need to get handled. But the more you try to reach for it and grab for it, the less you tend to get. And that's because of the way money works. The way money and wealth actually works is you need to get it from someone. And the only way to get it consistently from someone and keep getting it and keep improving is by giving them more value in return, right? So you need to learn that before you even think about money. As people start to realize that, they actually can turn into pretty amazing entrepreneurs. But before they realize that, while they're still grabbing and grasping for that cash, they can never really succeed. And that's what I found. I used to think like this as well for a short amount of time, and I had all these jobs, and I was just trying to get a job for like $1 extra per hour, $2 extra per hour, and just trying to get that few extra dollars every day just to save up a little bit more, just to get a little bit more money. Like, I just need $2,000 more. I just need to buy the next thing. I just need to buy the next computer, the next device, the next bike, whatever it is. And just kept grasping at these empty things, none of which I have, like, still. So most of the stuff I got, I don't have anymore, right? Well, what I should have been doing from day one is improving my knowledge, improving my skills, and working on myself and my business, working on the assets that keep improving, keep expanding in value and everything else, really. So if I had done that from day one, instead of trying to get little jobs, mostly for the cash, I would have gotten further along. So people who are still in that mindset, I get it, I was there as well, but you don't really want to work with them for important projects. You don't really want them as your client because they're going to want to look at things short term, and that doesn't really work. You look at shit short term, you try to get more out of your client than you give them, then clients tend to leave you. If they don't get constant value, they tend to leave you. They don't want to do business with you anymore because you're kind of parasiting. So people don't like that, and they can sense it instantly. It's like part of the human condition, really. What happens if you don't avoid people in general who are just doing it for money, like any types of people? There's not a lot of these people, by the way. I would say it's less than 20% of the population, but you can find research on that. There's a test online. It's called the DISC test, and they test millions of people. So they test people's economic reward systems in their brain and stuff like that. It's a very powerful test. I do this with employees. So that test tells you a lot. And there's not a lot of people who think like that, just primary money motivation. And I don't know anyone very, very successful who thinks like that either. I have never met such a person who's very successful. I've met people who want to change the world. I met people who want to progress the human race. I have met people, there are people like Elon Musk, who I haven't met obviously, but he wants to make humanity into a two-planet species. These are not people that are primarily looking for cash. And you can see, if you look up Elon Musk's old pictures, he was, he started PayPal and he just started buying cars and doing all this stuff. And then he kind of has this story where he snapped out of it. He's like, why am I doing this? And then he started his next company. It was huge, it was a huge deal because he was doing something impossible. You can see entrepreneurs, sometimes they get bogged down in this weird state where they just try to consume and try to live life instead of creating. And then they realize it's not really living life. Really living life is pushing yourself and working towards the next big goal and keeping the bar above where you're at right now. Keep improving, keep learning, and so on. And that's been proven to be a much bigger motivator than that quick dopamine from consumption, right? That's the biggest difference between employees and freelancers and actual business owners. That's why there's not a lot of business owners, because you need to kind of sacrifice a lot of that consumption mindset. A lot of that, I just need to make a few extra dollars to buy the next bottle of champagne in a nightclub. I need to make a few $100,000 to buy the next very expensive car. Once you snap out of that, suddenly business makes a lot more sense. Suddenly you're reinvesting. Suddenly everything is growing. Suddenly you're more excited, right? It's not like quick dopamine hits from pressing on the gas pedal of an expensive car, but it's the long-term satisfaction. You're training yourself to get long-term satisfaction versus the quick rewards. So that part of gaining wealth is less talked about because, you look at Instagram, it's all about expensive cars, big booties, that kind of stuff. Reprogramming yourself, relearning how to use your brain and how to be productive and how to be a valuable member of the world, basically. I don't want to say society because whatever, but the world. So reprogramming yourself like that is actually extremely valuable, and it's part of becoming an entrepreneur. And as you go down deeper and deeper down this road, you're going to notice that it kind of seems weird that people are still just out there trying to grab the next just wad of cash. And there's these marketers on the internet pile a wad of cash in their hand. They're like, do you want this? You can work 3 hours a day and get this, right? It's a very low level of consciousness that leads to exactly the opposite result, which is buying more stuff and not getting results, not building a business, not building anything that lasts, anything valuable, and just getting a job essentially, right? So you can learn this, and anyone can learn this. You can learn how to become a value provider. You can learn how to detect people that have the wrong intentions, and you can find out very quickly that they tend to not succeed long term. So you're going to also learn to kind of avoid them in terms of jobs and stuff like that. But it's also good for them because they learn that this quick satisfaction, this quick money mindsets that people have, that it doesn't work. By rejecting them and by not working with them, you're actually doing them a favor. And this is very powerful stuff because you yourself become less like that and more of a long-term wealth thinker. It's a very valuable shift that many entrepreneurs, in fact, all successful entrepreneurs have gone through that I've ever talked to. Yeah, I hope that was helpful for you. Please do check out my other videos and hit me up if you have any questions. I do run a mastermind called Business Mentor Insiders, where we don't just talk about mindsets and stuff. We actually cover in detail how to build an online business. So do hit me up if you have any questions. Thanks, and see you in the next video.